Welcome to New Light Living Podcast. See your life in a new light. I'm your host, Ulrika Sullivan. I'm an intuitive spiritual life coach, and right now, in the times we're living in, this is the time to lift your gaze to higher grounds. It's time to take in and appreciate the unlimited abundance that's already available to you. It's time to see your life in a new light. Are you up for a big life decision? In this show today, I'll be showing you how to tap into your unlimited choices in making that decision, because at a time like this, you may feel that you have a hard time seeing the opportunity out there. I'll be doing a little exercise in a few minutes with you that'll give you the direct experience with how to tap into your unlimited choices. So stay on and I'll take you through it. When this episode airs in April 2020, we, as a global community facing an unprecedented time with the coronavirus spreading across the globe, and you may feel like putting your life on hold. But I'm here to inspire you to lift your gaze, that now is the time to go inward and make decisions to change old ways, maybe change old habits, and make decisions to break your old habits and change structures in your life that may not serve you anymore at this time. I want to help you tap into your unlimited potential. We're also getting bombarded with information at this time on social media and the news everywhere. So many people are very helpful and feel the urge to help. And that's great. But it can feel overwhelming too, with the outpouring of new offers, new ideas, new classes to attend, and tons of suggestions to do things in a different way. So it's hard to know what the right direction is to move in for you. Do you want some clarity in what direction you may want to go in next? As a certified professional life coach, this is exactly what I help people with. So if you feel stuck and don't know what to do next, if you want support to navigate this time in your life and you realize that you have to go about things a bit differently this time, you may want to consider hiring me as your coach to partner with me and help, so I can help you to navigate a shift for you. Visit me on newlightliving.com and submit an application through my website, and let's chat. The benefit of coaching, if you're unfamiliar with coaching, is that it's a safe place to discover what is the opportunity for you right now. You may feel an urge to rediscover an area of your life that has been on the back burner until now. The support of a coach may be what it takes for you to make a leap into expanding your perspective into your wildest dreams. And now is not the time to put your dreams on hold. No, now is the time to plant that seed for the future, expand into greater self-awareness. And I want to make sure that you know that I'm here to support and help as many as I possibly can at this time in our history, and as we're truly all stepping into a new normal. I personally went through a period of making big, major life decisions a few years ago. For me, this change expressed itself through my career. And the expression or situation may be totally different for you. I found myself in a situation where I knew that my long-time career path didn't serve my deepest motivation or desires anymore. I just knew it. And these might be the thoughts that you have yourself right now. Your job may have changed drastically, or your business in a very short period of time. And now what? Or you may feel, have had this nagging feeling all along. that something needs to change for you. So what did I do? I really felt stuck a few years ago, and I waited and I waited and I waited. And although many different synchronicities happened for me, and coaching was one of them. And that's when I first started to access my true answers and the courage to discover the wide open feeling that I have unlimited choices to choose from, unlimited possibilities. It became so clear to me that I had to make a shift, and I have never looked back since. And that's thanks to the coaching process. Now, a very long story short, now today, when I'm recording this show for you, airing this show for you today, I'm living my life purpose, and my life is filled with joy and passion for what I do every day. So in times like this, it's very understandable to feel that it's more comfortable to stay put and stay where you are, to follow familiar expectations and so on, then open up to a different opportunity, to start a new chapter that's closer aligned with who you are growing into right now. And who knows? Right now, it may be your turn to make a shift and make that big life decision. Maybe it's your turn now to tap into your unlimited choices and move forward with a feeling of personal power. That no point of return feeling, that I have to do this. And that's exactly how I felt a few years ago. I had that no point of return feeling. I had to do the shift. So, how about getting rid of the tunnel vision of fear that you may feel right now? And it is so understandable in the times that we're in that we want to retract, contract, and stay where we are. But it also makes us feel stuck. And we don't know, we have a lot of uncertainty. And that is fueled by staying in this tunnel vision. So let's see if we can shift that today. See your life in a new light. So are you ready to shine some light on what your unlimited choices are right now and see your life in a new light? Yes? Great. So what I've learned about how big decisions and what I've learned about that is that they can become totally clear in an instant. And to activate that clarity, you need to look at the possibility you have in front of you in a 360 way before making that decision, along with inviting your intuition to be part of the process. So many times we have tunnel vision when we make a big decision without knowing it. And we make that decision from a place of fear, rationalization, and assumptions. And so to shift that, I was thinking we could do a little exercise on this right here. So if you're with me here, if you are in a place where you can sit down and bring out your journal, if you're driving, or you may want to just listen along and come back to this part of the show at a different time. So here is how to make a decision where you tap into your unlimited choices. Ready? All right, let's go. So first, what is the decision that you're up for right now? Maybe this decision that you want to make, maybe that's something that just have come over you as a result of the past week's events. Or this decision may have been building up within you for a while. And you know you'll have to make this decision soon, right? So let's bring your decision. What is the context for that decision? Let's bring that into your consciousness now. So let's bring in and let's begin and bring this in, and close your eyes for a moment here and take a big deep breath in through your nose and release it all out through your mouth. So one of the first things you want to visit here are your true motivators for change, for making this shift, for making this decision. And one way of finding this out is to ask yourself, what is the absolute worst thing that could happen if I make this decision now? Ask yourself, what is the absolute worst thing that could happen if I make this decision now? So bring out your journal and write down at least 3 things. Write down what comes up. All right away, no editing, just write down your thoughts. What is the worst thing that could happen? And watch carefully your answers to this question. It will reveal your deepest beliefs that you carry around about your situation, about the situation, the context of your decision. So if your answers to these questions are filled with a sense of tunnel vision, limitation, and fear, you're likely not tapping into your unlimited choices. And even in times like this, you can choose to see life in a tunnel or like a wide open field, which is wild too, right? Reflect on your answers here and look at them again. Look at them and ask also the question, where in these answers do you think fear is involved? And where in your answers are you making an assumption that may or may not happen? So you may need to take some time to write down all of this in your journal. So you may need to pause the show if you're listening to this after it airs for the first time. But I'm giving you clues here on how to look at your decision in a 360 way. And here it is. Is there another way of looking at your decision or your situation? Is there another way of looking at it? And here comes the next part of this exercise. And the next 4 questions, and you can open your eyes, by the way. I just want to make sure you, as you enter this exercise, that you visualize at the same time and not only pulling from your logic. By closing your eyes through parts of this exercise, you call on your inner world. And that's really, really important. So the next 4 questions will help you to look at your situation now from even more of a 360 perspective. So take the time to answer the following questions carefully. Now, here they come. The first question would be, if you didn't make this decision at all, if you just stay the same, what would happen? Write down what comes up first for you here. Just what would happen if you stay the same? And then turn and view it from a different perspective. Are there any other scenarios that could happen? Look at it from a different viewpoint. Now, the second question is, what if you made this decision and went for it? What would happen? So come up with your first image here. Write it down. What would happen if you did go for it? Write it down. So in thinking about your situation today, how is your current situation supporting you? And think about it this way too. What would be the reason to keep it the way it is? Because we all stay in a situation because we're getting something from it. And I'd like you to reflect on that. What is it from your current situation, just the way it is now? What is the reason to keep it the way it is? And the last question here is, what will you have to face? What will you have to go through? What would you have to do to make the change you want? So this might be a couple of different things. You may have to move. You may have to break off a relationship. You may have to resign from a job. You may have to make an investment. Anything. What is it that you have to face to make that change you want? And the good news here is that you can rewrite your answer to the initial worst case scenario and eliminate all the reasons for not making the change you want if you're willing to look at it differently. So, and this was a very quick run through of this type of exercise that is so powerful. So you may have to go back and listen to this again, pause it, and make your notes in your journal. But once you've done that, look at your answers to all of these questions about what do you see? What do you see? Does it get any clearer? Does your situation and the path to a decision get any clearer for you? And decisions other than your logic, which is often driven by your ego, this exercise will help you access the unlimited part of making a big decision. Sometimes we feel that we need also a well thought out plan to make a decision. We want to have all kinds of securities available to us to make a decision. And I'm sorry to say that a well thought through plan may feel good to have, and it will support your desire for controlling your situation. And it will help you, though, to look for more answers. And that's exactly where we can get stuck sometimes. We're looking for more and more answers to feed into this, desire to control the situation and want to have everything lined up. But it's not going to help you make the right decision. And I'm sorry to say that, because the planning overload we often do is the ego telling us that we need to be more ready before we make the decision. And you can never be more ready than now, today. And that's when we get stuck in the planning mode forever, instead of just going for it and choosing again if it doesn't work out. I want you to think about, if in your life, if you've ever made a choice in the moment because it just felt right. So go back to that time and ask yourself, what was it about that situation in the past that made you actually trust your gut that time? Can you invite that feeling again to the decision that you may have to be making today, that big life decision that you're having ahead of you here? In the moment, action and decision making is done through your intuition. And that's where the gut feeling comes in. That's when the body and mind and your spirit, everything is aligned, and you can just feel it because it just felt right, right? It's almost like the answer comes to you and you don't have to find it, but it's a matter of trust. It's that inner knowing of when a decision, small or big, is right for you. And it's your true self in action right there. So simply, the best advice I can give you is to trust your intuition. If your gut feeling is to go for it, do it. But yes, some decisions are big and potentially life-changing. So if you still feel that the decision is too big to make, use the powerful practice of choosing again. And if the decision feels too big to be making right now, it is too big to make right now. So trust that too. If it feels too big to you to make a decision right now. wait on it just a little bit, because it is too big to make. Maybe you have to go over this exercise that I showed you and took you through. Maybe you need to go through that exercise 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, because you can always choose again every day. And that's the beauty of today. You can make a decision today, but that doesn't mean you can't course correct, right? Because you can. Because you have every right and possibility available to you to choose again. Trust that you are right where you need to be in your life right now. And letting go of that outcome, that it has to be a certain way, is the most freeing thing you can practice. And maybe you learned something about yourself and the situation by listening to this show today. So bottom line, when you feel overwhelmed and stuck while trying to make a decision, you can access your unlimited choices by inviting that 360 way to look at your situation. And you can identify what part of you and part of your answers, I should say, are driven by fear. Your answers and you are linked together, and choose a different and more supportive way to think about it. Because if you do, your actions will be different as well. Another way is to invite, not another way, but in addition, I should say, invite your intuition to support you with the answers that are connected to your true self. And then, based on those 3 things together, make the decision and move forward. Don't wait. The good news is you can always choose again. And how can you look at your life decisions coming up in a different way? What we've been talking about in this show is some really important messages when it comes to big life decisions that you may want to reflect upon at this unprecedented time in our lives. Because if we don't take the time to see the full range of possibilities before coming to a conclusion, we're limiting ourselves. And it's really important at this time to look at the opportunities from all angles, that 360 way. And we often exclude those options that are really our true right decisions, because we operate in that tunnel vision. And tunnel vision is the result of pulling out our fear instead of our love in the situation. Because we plan and plan, and if we plan too much and try to push the outcome into a certain way, we rely on limited choices, not our unlimited choices. So instead, allowing an outcome to unfold by itself when it comes to decision making is to invite the universe to the table to help you with the decision. And that's where the gut feeling comes in. That's where you go for it if it feels right. Because a decision is energy. And if you make a decision that is where you put your energy right now, that's if you put your energy into a decision, that's where it is right now. And that doesn't mean you can redirect it at any time. You can choose again. I hope this show has helped you, to inspire you that there are ways to step out of this fear, tunnel vision, overwhelm that you may feel right now. And it's completely understandable with what's going on in the world globally, our planet right now. But it is in your hands. And call on your power, call on what feels right. instead of what others may tell you that is right for you right now. And now also is a great time to pull out those things that you have had on a back burner for a while. Bring them out in the light. Go through the exercise that I showed you earlier in the show here. Do that 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, and see what you can learn. It'll show you what the right decision is for you. Thank you for showing up here today on New Light Living Podcast. If you want to tap into your unlimited choices and know it's the right step for you, when you're making decisions the next couple of weeks and months, and maybe even years ahead, reach out to me. You can find me on my website, newlightliving.com, and you'll find my contact information there. I'm here to help. I'm here to serve you. Trust the process. Do the work.